Hi guys, it's Kathy. Welcome back to my channel, Duality Unfolding. With all the changes that have been happening with astrology over the last 2-ish, 3 weeks, I wanted to offer you guys a card reading around like some of those changes that are happening or that have happened. Really, I mean, the transits have happened, but they have different time frames that they affect us in. So for this pick a card reading, I'm going to show you guys 3 different decks, but for each deck, I'll be asking the same questions, and I kind of wanted to give you an intro about why. So the first question that I will be pulling a card on is, what new season am I moving into? And so this card is related to us coming into Aries season. So March 20th started Aries season. And it's also the start of the astrological year. So it's a little different than the traditional Gregorian calendar, which starts in January. In astrology, the astrological year starts with Aries season. It's the first sign of the zodiac, hence the number 1. And so in relation to that, we have the spring equinox, which also happened on the 20th of March. And so the question I'll be asking in regards to the start of this astrological year is, what is this new year offering me? So I don't know if everybody else feels the same way, but I personally, over the last couple of years, have started feeling like my year doesn't really start until spring, until Aries season hits. And I think that, looking at the traditional Gregorian calendar, the year starts in the middle of winter, which is kind of weird, right? Like, we're starting a new season when everything's dead. So, Aries season starts, during it starts at the time of the spring equinox. And so the spring equinox is, it's one of 4 equinoxes that we have that kind of signals a seasonal change. It signals a change, like, as far as how much daylight we get. And so, spring starting, Aries season being the first sign of the zodiac, like that fire coming out of the water of Pisces and into the fire of Aries, like, you can see, like, there's so much energy here, right? That, this is a fire sign. It's this initiation, and even just like this spiral, right? Like, he's just coming up out of the earth, like, with all this fire and power. And so this new season is the inspiration for these 2 questions that will be part of the reading. So let me get these out of here. The next question that I'll be asking in the reading is, what new direction is my life taking over the next 2.5 years? And so that question is inspired by Saturn moving into Pisces. So Saturn spends 2.5 to 3 years in each sign. And so he just came out of Aquarius and he moved into Pisces. I want to say on the 23rd, I think. I might have nope, it was on the 7th, sorry. It was a little bit earlier in the month, but Saturn is the planet that rules structure, long-term planning. I also think of Saturn as like the kind of a strict father, right? That, like, he calls us forward with lessons that show us, like, how strong we are, like how much fortitude that we have. When we look at this card, like, we can see this person is this energy is very, like, regimented and structured. And even looking at, like, these kind of orbs that are in this bowl, like, they're perfectly balanced, like, and he's barely holding them. Like, just the rings around Saturn, of course. But also just, like, this is a very, like, stable, grounded energy. And so when we have that structure, that long-term planning coming into Pisces, the energy of Pisces is the dreamer. Like, Pisces is the feeler, like, watery depths. We've got the two fish here, which are, part of that Pisces symbol. But also like these fish kind of look to me like dragons. One of my favorite Pisces refers to himself as a grumpy old dragon. So of course this makes me think of him, but also like that kind of ethereal, imaginative, like dreamy energy, right? That like these really kind of mystical creatures and, that watery feminine energy. When we combine these two things together, Saturn is about structure. He's about making those plans, like doing the work to set things in motion. And Saturn just came out of Aquarius. Before that, he was in Capricorn, and both of those signs are like ruled by Saturn. Aquarius traditionally was ruled by Saturn. It's now ruled by Uranus, but like Saturn is very comfortable in both of those energies. And moving into Pisces, like there's this is a big shift for Saturn, right? To go from the equal structure of Capricorn, the discipline, like the regimenting, the responsibility, and then into Aquarius, which can be kind of a more detached energy, but for the purposes of seeing like this big picture, like having this really wide scope and being able to zoom out. Pisces is very, like Pisces goes deep, emotionally, but there's this very like up close and personal energy, right? Like with these two fish, like she's got her arms wrapped around them. There's this entanglement, and for Saturn, like this energy can feel a little bit foreign and uncomfortable. But I think the beauty of what we're being invited into over the next 2.5 years is that these dreams that we have, Saturn is bringing this structure to them. So, we have the opportunity to kind of combine and partner these energies for the purposes of taking action and making long-term plans to make our dreams come true. So this prompt, inspired by that, transit, is what new direction is my life taking over the next 2.5 years? And then the last two questions that I'll be asking in each reading are inspired by Pluto changing signs. So got Pluto, and he's leaving Capricorn and entering Aquarius. And so with Pluto leaving Capricorn, the question is, what do I need to walk away from? And with Pluto entering Aquarius, the question is, what am I being welcomed to walk towards? And so this transit happened on March 24th. And so Pluto spent 15 years in Capricorn. So Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008 and spent 15 years there. And then Pluto is just now moving into Aquarius. And so Pluto will retrograde out of Aquarius back into Capricorn, go direct into Aquarius, and then retrograde back to Capricorn a couple times over the course of I would say like the next 1.5 years. So Pluto has moved into Aquarius as of the 24th of March, but he'll be there until maybe mid-June. And then he will move back, he will retrograde back into Capricorn. And so these next couple months that he's in that energy of Aquarius, it almost feels like he's moving houses. Like within astrology, like there's houses within our chart. If you've never seen an astrology chart, it looks kind of like a clock. And so if you think about like 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, like that's a house. 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, that's a house. And so as the planets move, they occupy different houses in our chart. So in everybody's chart, there is a Capricorn house, there is an Aquarius house. And so, this energy of really now till mid-June, it almost feels like Capricorn is kind of in the doorway of this Aquarius house, and he's kind of looking around like, oh, I like this place, like it looks nice, like I like the color, like my furniture will fit here, everything's gonna be great. And then come June, he's gonna retrograde back into Capricorn. So it's like, okay, I gotta go to this other house and take care of some things. And then he'll go direct, I believe, in September. And then he'll go, he'll retrograde again. So he'll go direct into Aquarius and stay there in November of 2024. And he'll be there for 20 years. So these Pluto transits, like moving in and out of signs, like these are very, very long-term transits that happen because Pluto is such a far planet as far as like the orbit around the sun. Like he's the farthest away. So his transits take the longest time. And so these questions are not for, like over the next 20 years of your life. This is really around the energy of Pluto moving into this new space. So we can almost look at it like if you're moving away, right? Like, what do I need to leave behind? What do I need to walk away from? What do I need to leave behind when I move away from this place? And then what am I being welcomed toward as I move into this new place? And so thinking of places like energy. And so those will be the last two questions or cards that I pull for every reading. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview and kind of some information about why I chose the questions that I chose. And as a last little thing, there is another transit that's happening right now, and it'll be until May. I want to say May 20th. So it's a shorter transit, but it's Mars moving into Cancer and moving out of Gemini. So if you follow astrology, then you know that I want to say for the last 8 months, Mars was in Gemini. A large part of that he spent retrograde. And anytime a planet goes retrograde, essentially like their orbit seems to slow down. And so it reminds me of if you ever watched a movie where there's like a slow motion scene where like there's one or two characters that are moving in slow motion and everybody else is moving in real time around them. So it looks like everybody else is moving way faster and they're moving really slow. That's almost the same effect when a planet goes retrograde. The planet doesn't actually move backwards. They're just kind of slowing down. Some planets kind of take like a little loop-de-loop. I want to say that Pluto does that. It might be Venus. I can't remember. But so when a planet goes retrograde, like what we're being invited to do is to kind of turn inward and to take time to focus on like some of those RE words, right? Like retrograde starts with RE. And so there's certain things that like that planet, is asking us to focus on in regards to this energy in our chart or this house in our chart. And it's inviting us to reflect, to rest, relax, restore, revive, like any kind of word that you can think of that starts with RE. That's the energy that retrogrades bring for us. So, the last 8 months that Mars was in Gemini is an air sign. It's the twins, as we can see. And so Mars is the god of war, and his natural or his ruling sign is, see if I can pull this card again, is Aries, and so this energy, it's very fiery, as you can see, right? Like all this kind of red, orange fire. And in Gemini, this air sign, like air and fire do work very well together, but there's not the same grounding, right, that we have with Aries. Like this air energy is just kind of floating, right? Just kind of hanging out. Like it's not able to make the same kind of motion. It doesn't have the same propulsion as Aries has. So I think it's been a tricky time for a lot of people. And so with, Mars moving into Cancer, we have this new energy. But Mars isn't, Mars doesn't enjoy being in Cancer. So even though planets have a ruler, or really like, yeah, a ruler or a home sign, Aries is the home sign for Mars. Planets also have a sign that they're exalted in. And so Mars is exalted in Capricorn. This is where Mars is able to really be like the kind of highest interpretation, representation of himself. And so, we see kind of some of this like similar like imagery here. There's, Capricorn is an earth sign. There's a lot of grounding here. We've got like 1 and 10. If you follow numerology, 1 plus 0 is 1. So it's like this kind of same or similar like initiation energy, like the ability to like take action, to go, to move. And so when a planet is exalted, it also has a sign that it is in its fall in. And so astrologically speaking, Cancer and Capricorn are polar opposites. So if you were to look at them on a chart, they would kind of be located, here. So they're like directly across from, they're here. They're like across from each other because the first house starts at 9 o'clock. Anyway, okay, we're getting real deep into this. But because Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and Cancer is the opposite of Capricorn, Mars is in its fall. So what that means when a planet is in its fall is that it's weak. It's not able to do the things it needs to do, right? So when Mars is exalted, it's in this earth energy. Mars is how we take action. Mars likes to do, likes to go, likes to get things done. And so if we think of Mars, as this warrior, right? He's got his shield and his spear. We can't really see his legs, but for the purposes of an analogy, we can use Mars as a runner. It's very easy to run on the earth. It's not so easy to run in the water. Cancer is a water sign. And so, what we might see over the course of the next 2 months is that it's hard to make any headway. It's hard to get any traction. It's hard to make some forward progress. When Mars was in Gemini, we might have had a lot of really great ideas. Like air energy is the mental. And so coming into water energy, it's feelings. So it's like we have all these ideas and now we have to figure out how we feel about them. And as a Cancer sun, I get it. This is not comfortable energy. It's even not my favorite. And it's like, like how I've lived my whole life. But some of the things that we might notice with Cancer or with Mars in Cancer is that people are a little lot more emotional, and Cancer in its unevolved energetic state can be very passive aggressive, can kind of take on this victim mentality, can take on this kind of energy of like, woe is me and I can't do this. And even kind of looking at this card, right, that this little crab, she's just kind of sitting here, right, just kind of hiding out, and there's this big thing up here. Is it trying to eat me? I don't know. So it's like there's a little bit of to me this almost feels a little bit like a defeated energy, and just kind of sitting here trying to wait things out, right? Kind of hiding out a little bit. Definitely not on the offensive, also not on the defensive. But some things you might notice with Mars in Cancer until May 20th is communication might be a little bit tricky. People might be a little bit more passive aggressive. Like I said, it might be hard to get things done. In the positive element, what it is inviting us to do is really think about why. Why am I wanting to take the action that I want to take, right? Because like our why is very much motivated by emotions and how we feel, and so I think with this mental energy, sometimes it's like, I have to do the things because somebody told me, and this is a great idea, and this person was successful because they did this, and I'm going to do that, and then Mars moves into Cancer, and it's like, I don't really feel like that's who I am, though. Like, that doesn't feel authentic to me. Or it might just be, I don't feel like doing it because today's not the day. Cancer's ruled by the moon. And so I think, with the moon being the planet that changes signs every 2.5 days, that energy of always shifting, this planet that rules Cancer, always shifting into new energies, can kind of give the impression that Cancers can be really moody people. And I mean, it can be, it can, but it's not unwarranted sometimes. Because Mars is in Cancer and Cancer is being ruled by a planet that changes signs every 2 days, what we might find is that we do have days where it's really easy to get things done. And then there's other days where we just can't, so understanding that like the next 2 months could be kind of tricky for some of us, but also like, is there anybody that things haven't been kind of tricky for in the last like 3 years? Has anybody had an easy time the last 3 years? No. So nothing new, right? Nothing new, nothing we're not used to. So I just wanted to offer up this additional information for you. Since we're already talking about astrology, I figured I would just share. But for this reading, these will be the questions that we'll be focusing on for the reading. So just wanted to offer these again one last time. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening if you've made it this far. And I will offer you the 3 piles to pick from, and then I will see you in your reading. Thank you so much. For this pick a card reading, I will be doing 3 different piles. I've pulled the Sun card from each pile because this is a Sunday reading for the week ahead. So this is obviously the Sun's day, so a better card to pick than the Sun. Also, we're coming into spring, so I'm hoping that it's a little bit sunnier wherever you are when you're watching this reading. Pile 1 will be using the Transient Light Tarot. Pile 2 will be using the Santa Muerta Tarot, and Pile 3 will be using the Desert Illuminations Tarot. So please take all the time that you need to pick a pile. Feel free to watch more than one reading if there's more than one pile that resonates for you. And you can use the timestamps to jump ahead to whichever reading that you like. So I will see you in your reading. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. We'll be using the Transient Light Tarot for this reading. So again, these are the questions that I will cover in this tarot reading. The first one is, what new season am I moving into? The next will be, what is this new year offering me as we're entering this new astrological year? And even if you don't follow astrology, I think that everybody can agree, maybe it's just me, maybe not everybody, that this calendar year kind of started off weird, that like January, February didn't really feel like the start of a new year, at least for me. It kind of felt like part 2 of last year, almost like a continuation of last year. So I definitely feel like March has brought a little bit more of that like new beginning energy. The next card that we will pull before, what new direction is my life taking over the next 2.5 years, followed by what do I need to walk away from, and what am I being welcome to walk towards. So those 2 cards have to do with that, Pluto leaving Capricorn and entering Aquarius. So I'm going to pull these off camera because I don't have room to show you all the cards, so we'll kind of do a little shuffling around of these little question cards. So what new season are you moving into? Oh, 7 of Swords. So 7 of Swords is very much a card of accountability. If you're familiar with the traditional tarot, in the traditional tarot, there is someone that's stealing one of these swords, kind of sneaking it away from the camp. And this has a very different energy, right? We've got all these eyes, you know, that are in each of these swords, and they're front facing, right? Even this little guy, this is being carried away. They're all front facing. They're all, it's like all eyes on you. And it almost feels like instead of that traditional depiction where it's like somebody kind of sneaking off, taking something away, this really feels like this is your time to shine. Like with this butterflies represent transformation, and you're being essentially like transformed, like with this kind of starry sky in the background. And I feel like this black and white checkerboard floor kind of reminds me of like those really old classrooms, or maybe like classrooms look like that now. I don't have kids, I don't know, but like I can remember like when I was a kid, like a lot of the classrooms had like this really kind of weird old checkerboard, but it wasn't like black and white, it was like tan and brown. Anyway, so it feels like you're being transported like into something new. So taken out of like this old status quo, and really like your transformation, whatever work you were doing, to me, it feels like the last 5 years. And this is a general reading, so for some of you, it may have been longer. It may not have been that long. But whatever like work you've been doing to like level up, to transform yourself, to grow, to change, you're being taken into something new, you know, and out of this, like, it feels really like this, like, old, rigid status quo. This is what we do. This is how we've always done it. We don't do anything different. Very rule focused, rule oriented. You're being pulled out of that into this really kind of beautiful like space of what would you like to do? What would you like to create? What new life do you want to bring? You know, and 7 is it, you know, it's a number of divinity. The swords represent the mind, air energy, fast moving. So it feels like this new season is bringing you into like a new space. It might be a new headspace, it might be a new mindset, it might be a new job. But to me, it feels very energetic. So like your physical world might not change, but like your mindset and the people that you surround yourself with it's going to change. And because all these eyes are on you, I don't want this to sound like ominous, because it's not. It's really just like that awareness. Like just be aware that people are watching you, you know. And yes, this is a card of accountability. So if there's things that you know you're not supposed to be doing, that you're trying not to do, or even if you are in that space, and like no judgment. If you've been saying that you wanted to do something for a while and you haven't done it yet, you might hear people saying things like, oh, I remember you said that you wanted to start going to the gym. I did, but I don't like the gym, but I have been working out just at home. So it's like that kind of energy, right? Where it's like, we don't owe those people an explanation, but yes, I did say I was going to do this. And maybe I'm not going to the gym because I don't like gym energy. I just don't. But I have been, working out consistently. Or I know I said I was going to do X, and I haven't done it that way, but I am doing it. Or you can just say, it's not your business. Like I said what I said, and I changed my mind. But having all these eyes on you, just being aware that like you might hear some things from people, and if it doesn't feel good to you, if it feels judgy, or if it feels like just like that icky energy, right, where people are like okay, like we don't have to acknowledge that. We could take our little sword and we can use our little butterfly wings to fly into outer space. So so this new season is moving you into a really expansive, like magical space. I love it. Energetically, even mindset wise, and let the haters watch. Let them watch. They don't have it. They don't have anything better to do than to watch you live your most amazing life. Well, you're welcome. Okay, so what is this new year offering you? Let's see. Oh, I got two. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take them. Okay, so we've got the Champion of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. So I feel like this really lines up. So the Champion of Wands, this is the Knight of Wands. So wands are very fast moving, just like the swords suit. And so you're you're picking up and you are going. Wands represent fire signs. So with it being Aries season, with us starting the astrological new year, with the start of Aries season, I feel like this is big Aries energy. You know, let's get it, let's go. Like, I'm taking my things and I'm going. You know, we've got this butterfly again. So this movement, you know, the butterfly is smaller, doesn't travel as far as quickly as a bird, you know. And then also this Ace of Swords is new mindset. New aces are beginnings, you know, and so this is just you moving into a new season of expansion, but also this new year is bringing you big changes, right? These big, quick changes to your mindset, changes to your beliefs, even like, I feel like it changes to how you think, you know. So with Saturn and Pisces, if you're a Capricorn rising, that's going to be your third house. Third house is communication and mindset. Or even, you know, even if you have, I want to say, even if you have like Aries in your third house, because it's Aries season, like that communication, that mindset, the way you think, that might be getting a little bit of a jump start too. So overall, I feel like this is really an amazing thing to be offered for the new year. Quick, positive action, motion, and creating this new mindset and these new belief systems. So let's see, what new direction is your life taking over the next 2.5 years? This is that Saturn and Pisces, structures, the way you kind of plan for the long term, the work that you're going to be putting in around Pisces is, you know, beliefs. It's those really deep emotions, dreams. Okay. A lot of wands. So we've got Keeper of Wands. The Keeper of Wands is the Queen of Wands. So this is this feels like grounded action, right? So that the swords cards are associated with the air signs, and air signs, it can be very quick moving, right? And wands as well. Wands are associated with the fire signs, quick movement. And so sometimes, like, gosh, if you've ever seen like those kind of videos of like wildfires, like the way that the fire just like jumps, it jumps all over the place. And if it's windy, it just moves so fast. And that the Queen of Wands, like she's confident in the actions that she takes. She doesn't take a long time to make those decisions, but she's also not impulsive, right? So this 2.5 years, like I feel like you're really learning how to ground down into your knowingness before you take that action. You know, like you're learning how not to be impulsive if you were an impulsive person before. If you were someone that maybe you have like a Mercury in one of the earth signs where it's like it takes you a lot. Earth signs are it's very slow moving energy. Like you think about plants growing, you know, like a plant growing versus like a fire sparking. If you are someone that has a lot of earth energy, you're learning to use that ability to ground into yourself this wands energy, this fire energy is helping you do it a little bit faster. So you're learning how to trust yourself more to make those decisions quicker. If you're a fire or air sign, you're learning how to really ground into your own energy before you kind of fire off and make those decisions. So the new direction that your life is taking is to really ground into who you are, you know, and I feel like this is kind of a really nice kind of directional reading almost, that, you know, you're being brought into a new space, a new mindset, and during this season and over the course of this year, like you're going to take a lot of action. Things are gonna happen really quickly, as far as like developing these new beliefs, developing this new mindset. And over the next 2.5 years, like you're really learning how to make really solid, good decisions for yourself, in the way that benefits you. You know, I think that all these eyes here really, it kind of makes me think of that. So this is my perspective. This is my belief. I don't believe that people want to be people pleasers. I think that it's part of this kind of social programming, right? That we're brought up as children, we're conditioned to be pleasing, to be accommodating. We have to, you know, a lot of us have lived in a world where you have to earn love, you know, and so we earn love by doing and giving things to others, which often requires us to sacrifice what we want and what we need. And so all these eyes feel very much like this people-pleasing energy that, you know, either you're a recovering people pleaser, you're coming to this, it feels almost like a fork in the road, right? Where it's like, okay, I've always done things to make people happy, and I've always kind of disregarded myself, and I just really want to do this one thing to make me happy, you know. And so this new season that you're moving into, like you kind of taking your little sword and flying away, in the big scheme of life, it may not be something that's totally crazy drastic, right? You might not be like, I'm gonna get my face tattooed. It might just be, I've always had long hair and I want to cut it, or my family's always been business owners and I kind of just want to be a teacher, you know, or whatever it is for you. Like it might not be something that's like totally drastic or like bucking the system. But all these eyes feel very much like there's this pressure to please. There's this pressure to be a good girl or a good boy. There's this pressure to do the things you're supposed to do. And the new direction that your life is taking over this next 2.5 years is really figuring out what feels good to me, right? Like, how do I because I feel like this key is really the work of self-discovery, so that you can unlock that door to like, who am I? And like, what do I want from my life? And like, how do I find joy in this life? This sunflower is very much like it's beauty and joy and happiness, and it ties back to that sun card, you know, that we had from the pile picking segment of the reading. And also in the traditional tarot, like the Queen of Wands is in the desert and there's a sunflower growing behind her, you know? So like this Queen of Wands energy, like she can make things happen. And this is not necessarily like, if you're a man watching this reading, it doesn't matter. The genders, like, it's just a representation of energy, you know, like the queens represent the divine feminine energy, which is influence, you know, versus like king energy is traditionally masculine, which to me is kind of more force. So I think of it as feminine energy is like water, where over years water can erode land, or if you get a tsunami, it's knocking shit out right there. And masculine energy is like the wind, where it's like it comes in these, you know, bursts, right? Where it's like you get like a really nice breeze that comes through, or you can get a tornado. You know, so it's like each one has this spectrum. So like the new direction I feel like your life is taking over this next 2.5 years is that you're really focusing on what do you want for this chapter of your life, you know, like, and this chapter of your life may not be just these next 2.5 years, you know, this could very well take you beyond that, or this chapter of your life could be like the next 6 months, you know, but you're being brought into taking a new direction that's really focused on you, that's focused on figuring out like what do you want for this life, like what feels good for you, you know, and using that self-discovery key to like ground in to who you are, learning more about yourself a little bit every day to figure out how to make the best decisions for you, for your life, however that looks. So I'm gonna swap these. Actually, I'm gonna move these out of the way. Let me pull these off camera and bring these other two in for you. Okay. So the next two cards that we will pull, or the next card that we will pull, is for what do I need to walk away from? So this is that Pluto leaving Capricorn. Pluto was in Capricorn for about 15 years. So you might have experienced something over the last 15 years that you want to walk away from, or it might be something that's more recent, even like the last 6 months. Let's see. Okay, so we've got the Two of Coins here. So Two of Coins represents, in the traditional tarot, there's somebody that's kind of balancing these two things. And so to me, what this feels like is you need to walk away from indecision, you know, and just to pull this back in, you know, this new direction that your life is taking, grounding into making the best decisions for you. So I feel like this, maybe we should put this here. Just rotate everybody down. Maybe this guy wanted to be part of the reading, like just keeping the story going. You know, walking away from that indecision, because it does feel like, you know, being watched, and having that affect the way that you make decisions, you know, like, will this make everybody else happy? Will this make me happy? Right? So it's like this balance and rebalance and rebalance and rebalance. And it to me, it really feels like living on a teeter-totter, or even one step forward, two steps back, right? And I love the string here. Oh, sorry, let me get that in view for you. Because it's tangled, right? It's tangled. And so that's really how that energy feels. Like I can't do anything right. Like that's how it feels. Like I can't get out of this. I'm just trying. Is this okay? Is that okay? Is this okay? And like you're being invited and encouraged to walk away from that. That's not how you have to live your life if you don't want to. And I understand that like everybody has different situations and different circumstances. But it really feels like whatever the thing is that you want for yourself, it's not unrealistic. It's not selfish. It's not ridiculous. You deserve this, and it's okay. I don't know what this thing is, but with the most like compassion that I can offer you through a video on YouTube, like I want to offer you, like I want to give you permission to do this thing, because I don't feel like you want to hurt anybody by doing it. It's not malicious. It's not nefarious. Like it's almost like you're just wanting to do. It feels like I just want this one thing. I just want this one thing. And yeah, and I want you to have that. Whatever it is, you know. So walking away from being tangled up in balancing and rebalancing and rebalancing like these decisions to make other people happy or to not feel guilty or whatever it is. I feel like you're being encouraged, invited to do that, to walk away from that. Ooh, self-imprisoning indecision. Yeah. I hope that helps. I hope that, like, because that feels heavy in my heart. So I really hope that's helpful for you. So this last card is going to be for what am I being welcome to walk towards? Okay. Ooh. The Devil. That's interesting. So typically the Devil represents temptation. One of my favorite tarot readers, Nicholas Ashbaugh, he likes to compare the traditional Lover's card with the traditional Devil card, and show that like they're two sides of the same coin, right? That you know, in the Lover's card there's an angel above the two people, and in the Devil card the devil is a fallen angel above the two people. And so what you're being welcome to walk towards with this Pluto and Aquarius is really looking at like your shadow side. So the things about yourself that you don't like. And the thing that's coming to mind with this is, do you not like those things because you don't like them? Or do you not like those things about yourself because other people, you know, that who you want to please have told you that those things are bad? And so I'll give a personal example, if you don't mind. I have short hair. And so I'm part Thai, and in the Thai culture, all the women are very thin and very beautiful, and they have long hair until you get much older. And then it's okay for you to have short hair. But if you're young-ish, you need to have long hair. And so like one of the kind of beliefs that I was always taught, subliminally, it was never said to me outright, but good Thai daughters have long hair. And so I've had shorter hair for much of my life. Like over the last year, it's been like super short. And so I realized that I was taught not to like short hair, but I actually like it. It's way easier. It's fun. It takes less time. So, so to go back to this, especially with this people pleasing, all eyes on you situation, the parts of you that you don't like, are they because you legitimately don't like that, I don't know, maybe you have road rage. I'm trying to find an example that's like kind of generic, right? Maybe you don't like that you have road rage because you don't like feeling so angry when you're just trying to drive to work, because you have to drive to work every day, you know, and you really don't like that you get angry. Versus, you know, do you want to cut your hair really short, but you know that like that's not okay because pretty girls have long hair? Or, you know, even like, gosh, there's so many things about like the way that we look, right? That it's like, okay, do I want to lose weight, or do I feel like I'm supposed to be thin because society says that, or because, you know, beauty standards say that, like, you know, women have to be skinny and men have to have muscles, right? Or do I really want to continue working in a corporate job because I like doing it, or because that's what I'm supposed to do in this lifetime? So the thing that you're being welcome to walk towards is really exploring, not even just the shadow side of you, but those beliefs, right? Exploring your belief systems. Do you believe things because you believe them or because it was whispered in your ear? You know, and so you're being invited for the things that you realize are not yours. You're being invited to kind of cut that out, right? To kind of set your heart free, because I think a big part of people pleasing is guilt. That as a recovering people pleaser, guilt is such a powerful tool of manipulation for those of us that have been conditioned to be people pleasers. And so, you know, this string, you know, once you cut the string and set your heart free, it gets away from the temptation to shame and guilt yourself for whatever that you've done wrong, that doesn't measure up to whatever these people or eyeballs or standards or whatever they are want for you. So I know shadow work is kind of something that's, I feel like it's talked about and it's not talked about. It's not for the faint of heart. And so, you know, this isn't necessarily like full-fledged shadow work. But, you know, in doing this, like, if you choose to take this invitation to walk towards looking at those parts of yourself that you don't like, to determine, like, do I legitimately not like those things, or have I been conditioned not to like them? I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to focus on your heart and just be really compassionate. And that if it feels too hard and you're not ready to do it, that's okay. You don't have to. It's an invitation. You're being welcome to do this, not an obligation. Even, you know, even this, like this really strong nudge to like walk away from debilitating indecision. Like, this is, you always have free will. And when you're ready, you'll do it. And if you're not ready, don't force it for any of this stuff, right? You know, making that decision to try to fly into this new space and away from all the eyes that judge you. This is an unfolding, right? Like that, I feel like all of life is an unfolding, you know, that in every opportunity, like it's not a one and done. It's not like this is your one chance to take your sword and fly away into the magic of outer space. Nope. This is, you know, this is a message for this new season that you're moving into. And so like a season is not, it's not one day, right? It's not like, okay, you get the season for the day. Like, it's not a Black Friday sale. You know, like you have time for this. Like, a season is, you know, like it's 3 months, like, chronologically, you know, a season of each of our lives can last so much longer than that. Or it could be shorter. You know, maybe you're like, I'm ready. I'm taking my shit. I'm leaving. I'm going. That's all you have to tell me. Stop feeling guilty, you know, re-examine things. But I always want to offer like kindness and compassion, that understanding that like what this card reading is bringing is not, these are big changes, right? These are big changes. And also it's over the course of time, 2.5 years. Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for 20 years. It's moving back and forth also. So from now until, I want to say June, I think Pluto will be in the 0 degree. Like the very first, like, it's almost like Pluto, if Pluto was a person, he's standing in the doorway of the Aquarius house, like poking his head in, looking like, yeah, this spot looks good. I like that window. I like I like this hardwood flooring. Like, the neighborhood's good. I like it. I'll be back. I have to get some things, and then I'll be back in a couple months to move in for a long time. So these things, this energy that's coming up, you know, even though this is fast moving energy, it doesn't mean that you have to move fast. It means that you're being offered, right? You're being offered the opportunity to move as quickly as you want. You don't have to. So with as much love and compassion as I can offer you through a video that you're watching, I just want to remind you of that. that these are the things being offered to you. And you can do it. You can do it as quickly or as slowly as you need. You can fall back. You can drop your little sword and say, I'm gonna take a breather. I'm gonna hang out here. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. So I hope this is helpful. I hope this feels good. I hope this feels kind of exciting and invigorating for you. And yeah, if you liked this reading, if you would like to leave a comment, I would love to hear what you think. If you'd like to hit the like button, if you would like to subscribe, all of those things are open for you. But I really hope most of all that this was a helpful reading to you and that it feels good and you feel like these are things that yeah, would bring like more positivity into your life. Yeah, and so I wish you a beautiful Aries season. I wish you a beautiful start of the astrological new year. I think we should all collectively grab some popcorn to see what life is gonna be like during this Pluto and Aquarius for the next couple months. I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm an Aquarius moon, so I always love the Aquarius energy, but I know that we can be space cadets, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, so I hope that this reading was helpful for you. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. I'll be using the Santa Muerta Tarot for your reading. So I'm going to pull a card for this first question. What new season of life are you moving into? And it is the Chariot. So the Chariot is, I feel like the Chariot's one of those fun cards that a lot of times in tarot, when most of the cards have people in them, right? So with the tarot or with the Chariot, a lot of times we focus on the people. And so this depiction of the Chariot, it's a little bit different than the traditional tarot, but we've got all these people here, right? You know, and so I think this guy would kind of represent the charioteer. But the Chariot card is about the Chariot. It's about the actual, I was going to say vessel, but that doesn't make any sense. The actual mode of transportation. And so the Chariot is something that takes us someplace. So this new season that you're moving into, I feel like you've cultivated or harnessed like a deeper level of trust or surrender. Maybe a deeper spiritual relationship with the divine, God, source, universe, whatever it is that you call it. If you're a religious person, with your religious deity or representative, to try to make this as inclusive as possible. And so because you've developed that deeper trusting relationship and you're coming to a place where you can surrender, like you're being taken towards whatever it is that you've been waiting for. So, you know, it's a general reading. So some people have been waiting for love, career, money, purpose, or even just waiting to be taken out of something, right? That maybe you've been done with a situation for a while, but you're like, is this ever gonna end? Like, can we be done, please? Like, can I move on? Can we close out this chapter? And so this new season that you're moving into is one of being transported into something new by the divine. And so if you're a praying person, if you've been praying to move into something new, like this new season the winds of change are literally like in the sails of your little ship and you're going like, let's get it, let's go. So I feel like this is like, just, it's so good. It's so good, you know? And this little guy back here, I feel like it's almost like he's the one that's pushing the Chariot forward, right? And you've got, you know, this guy hanging out here and like these ladies and, you know, they're just along for the ride. And so I feel like this is this is source, divine, God, universe, whatever you choose to call it, that's really kind of moving things forward. You know, that we're going somewhere new. So who doesn't want that, right? Ease and grace in a transition. Yes, please. Okay, so what is this new year offering you? So this is that card about coming into Aries season, like we're in a new zodiacal year, starting the astrological calendar over. Oh, okay, we got two. The last reading, two came out also. So let's see. So we've got the Magician and the Eight of Pentacles. So this, the Magician, I mean, do we have to explain the Magician? Like master manifester. The thing that popped in my head was Ariana Grande's 7 Rings. I want it, I got it. I love that. So Eight of Pentacles is about work, and this is about putting the work in, right? So she's got her, she's got her bag here. Let me see my end screen. Okay. She's got her bag here with the 8 on it, which, you know, the eight is also the infinity symbol. So like money coming in, money going out, like flow. These pentacles, let me see. Normally like they're kind of in the card, but I guess she's got all 8 of them in her bag. She's got her eyes closed. She's focused. She's focused on that bag, her little hands there. How cute is this? I don't know. I love it. I love this deck. So this Magician card, I want it, I got it. So this new year is offering you the ability to manifest whatever money, energy, career that you want to call in, right? If you have felt kind of uncertain about a career change that you want to make, even a move, because this is 8 of Pentacles is, you know, Pentacles to me is just everything that's like tangible, right? Home, money, like the physical things. If you've been wanting to move, or if you've been trying to figure out like, how do I make this move, or like, where do I want to go? Like this new year is offering you the clarity to figure out where it is that you want to go. And because I flipped this over and I saw it, this Ace of Cups is really, I've heard people refer to the cups as like a satellite, you know, so like satellite dishes, like they have to be tuned the right way to pick up a frequency. And so it feels like in this new year, you know, like this master manifestation energy is coming to you. I feel like it's kind of part of the spiritual growth, this spiritual development that you've been working on. And so it's like you've unlocked this ability to manifest things. You put in the work to get to a place where you can make those changes, and your satellite is tuned to the right direction. So it's almost like source, you know, is dropping that information in. And so it's like you're going to start to really receive that, the clarity, the knowing, the support to make these changes happen, whatever this is for you, whether it's a move or changing careers, new job. It feels good. But it feels like very tangible, like life changes, right? Spiritual growth, spiritual development is starting to manifest in your reality. These changes that you are trying to, that you've been wanting to implement, that just for some reason kind of couldn't. So amazing. Look at you. Great job putting in that work. I like it. If nobody's told you that you're doing great, I am proud of you. This, to get here, that's not easy. That's not easy. You know, like spiritual work it is work. It's work. Okay, so what new direction is your life taking over the next 2.5 years? Let's find out. 8 of Cups. Okay, so we've got, you know, all these cups and a little bit spilling out here. A little bit of sadness, but 8 of Cups is that walking away energy. And so because you've made some deep changes, you're pulling in the things to create a new life. You're having to leave some things behind. And so it really feels to me this there is sadness, right? You know, we've got like the water spilling out, like this looks like a tear here. She's not crying, but you know, we've got the blue around the eyes, the blue here. This doesn't feel as much like sadness to me as it does that it's I don't know why I'm struggling to say this. You have a baggage limit. Just like when you get on a plane and you fly, you can only have, what is it, like 50 pounds in your bag. And so what you're being confronted with is that like you can't take it with you where you're going. You know, there's a lady, I think she's called the Good Witch on Instagram. And she does a video where she talks about you have to travel light and the things that, you know, you're leaving behind. Like this is cups, this is emotion, right? This is not, if this was you had 8 of Pentacles, but you know, like the cups cards are emotions, they're memories, you know. And so she, in the Good Witch official video, she talks about, you know, that you have to travel light and you can't take those old memories from the past with you. You can't take those limiting beliefs. You can't take that self-doubt, you know. And so this is not about leaving people behind. This is not about leaving prized possessions behind. This is really about clearing out that, I mean, even this Ace of Cups, like this is a face with the open top of the skull, you know, like, and all of these, they're all open here, you know, like there is shit from the past that you can't take with you, and you don't need it, right? This isn't panic at the airport of like, what clothing can I throw away that's replaceable to make the baggage limit or make the weight limit for my bag. That's not what this is. This is letting go of the things that you don't need, that you have carried for so long that you have an emotional attachment to them, right? So like that pain, that trauma, you know, we don't have to take that with us. We take the lessons, like what did we learn from it? And sometimes, like, because those things change foundationally who we are, we don't need those memories. Like we don't even need the lesson. We integrated the lesson already, right? It became part of us. Like we don't need to carry that with us anymore. It's kind of like, it's like when you learn math, right? Every time you add something up, you're not like 1 + 1 is 2 because the principle of addition. Nope. We know how to do it. We know the process. It's ingrained in us. Like we know the maths. So I feel like this is very much the same, like that hurt, that trauma, that pain, all this like past shit. Like if you haven't figured out what you need to get from it, take some time to do that. If you already know the lessons you learned from it, let it go. Let it pour out, let it drip out. Be kind with yourself, be gentle with yourself. You know, any kind of change is tricky, right? Like we're learning a new way. We're going someplace new that we haven't been before. And even when we're flying, you know, in a plane or we're driving in our own car to a new place, it still feels scary. We can be excited, but we can also be there can be some like trepidation, right? That I've never been here before. I don't know what it's going to be like. I'm really excited to get there, but also like I'm a little freaked out. You know, like what if they don't have a Dunkin' Donuts? But they will. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine. But, you know, you're leaving things behind. Like this new direction that you're taking over the next 2.5 years, you're letting go of some stuff that you've carried for a really, really long time that you don't need. So take your time. It's not a race. It's not a contest. Over this next 2.5 years, you're learning how to let go. And I feel like in my body, it feels like a sigh of relief. I almost said a sigh of release, which is really, hey, maybe you need to do some breath work. Big inhale, big exhale, let it out. But this is over time, right? So be gentle with yourself. Take the time you need. And even, looking at her, there's some uncertainty, right? The kind of that hand to the face is, I feel like that's the body language of like, is this right? Is this okay? And it's perfectly fine for you to question that. Like, have I learned the lesson? Am I ready to let go? If it don't fit, don't force it. Which I know is probably different than what people normally say. But yeah, just be gentle with yourself. A lot of excitement, you've done the spiritual work. God's source energy is taking you to this new place. You're learning how to manifest exactly what you want, and it's coming. And you're letting go of some old stuff. And it's a balance, right? Kind of shuffling the energy. Like, if I wanna, I was gonna say, if this is some fruit punch and we want to add some alcohol in here, maybe we gotta dump a little of the fruit punch. I don't know who mixes fruit punch with alcohol. Obviously, I'm not a drinker. I drink beer. You don't have to mix anything with it. But just for the purposes of this analogy, sometimes we have to let go of things to give space for new things to come in. So that's really what's happening here. So I'm going to move these out of the way so that we can bring in your other cards. Let me keep these available though. Okay. So the next two cards that I'm going to pull are around that Pluto transiting out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. Okay, so what do you need to walk away from? Ooh, Three of Swords. Okay, this happened with the last reading where it was really kind of like a story in a way. Pardon me as I talk to these cards. Always want to be kind. What do I need to walk away from? What do you need to walk away from? Three of Swords. Pain, disappointment, heartache. So the new direction that your life is taking is calling you to release some of this old stuff, but also it's safe for you to walk away from the belief that and I get it, seeing is believing, and you haven't seen it yet. But not every story has like a sad ending for you. Like, not every new connection is going to result in disappointment. We've got this person literally sitting on top of this other person. And this is disrespectful as hell. Just putting these knives in, putting these swords in, like going to town. And this person on the bottom, which I really feel like is you, is looking at this sword like, okay, I got this one out, but like, fuck, this one's in here. This person's putting these two in here. And so Pluto is the sign of power dynamics, and so the thing you're being encouraged to walk away from are these people, connection, situations that cause just inappropriate amounts of like pain and drama, and just trouble for you, because when we look at this person, they're just sitting there. They're just sitting, just minding their own business. And then this guy, who's this guy? just sitting on them, disrespectful as hell, putting these swords in their back. So the thing that you're being called to walk away from, really the thing you're being called to recognize, is that this energy of intentionally inflicting pain, making problems for you, like you don't need this. Nobody needs this. So if there's some kind of belief system that you deserve this, I would definitely invite you to manifest a new set of beliefs around that. No one, especially not you, no one deserves. You don't deserve this intentional harm. And so if this is not people around you, this could be those old memories, right? kind of replaying that trauma. And if that's something that you're dealing with, like if you're able to, I would highly encourage, you know, that you seek out like some professional support around that. You know, if this is like something that's really, really severe, that's not something that is just manifesting a new set of beliefs or mindset, you know, because like we're all dealing with our own stuff. And like sometimes affirmations help. I am safe, I am loved. Sometimes that helps. Other times you have to find a therapist for a couple months and you work through things with her, and then she's a really great person and you guys text a couple times a year because she's just a nice old lady that wants to check on you. And you know, there's nothing wrong with seeking that professional help, you know. I know you will find the things that you need, but you know, if this is something that's really significant, there's no judgment, there's no shame in seeking professional support for yourself, because you don't deserve to deal with this. You don't have time for this. Whoa, sorry, getting a whole lot of attitude here. Where you're going, where you're being taken to, you don't have time for this. Look at this. This is not there. We got this guy. He's like, hey, I'm taking you to something amazing. And then you got all these other people chilling, you know, like all dressed up, hanging out. It's a little party. You got streamers, you got those little cutie pies all painted up, you know, flowers. There's, you know, this is a celebration. I mean, this might be a casket, but still. This is the Day of the Dead deck, right? It's not literal. But this is very positive, right? This is all very positive. This is the new season that you're moving into. There's no room for this. We don't need this. We don't want this. You feel free to walk away from this. You're being invited to walk away from it. And you have the support to do that, right? You've got this Ace of Cups, that, you know, this new year is offering you love, support, to receive all the good things. So, you know, buck this guy off of here. You can walk away from this. I feel like I'm just repeating myself now, but now you know you don't deserve this bullshit. And then I know you can do it. Absolutely, you can absolutely do it. I feel like you've done a lot harder things than kind of shove off this nonsense. And you know, when you're ready, you will do it. So what am I being welcome to walk towards? And this is the Knight of Swords. So this is the card that came up. Knights are about action. Swords are about mindset. We've got this guy here. He's literally swallowing this sword. Swords represent all the things tied to air energy in astrology, which is communication, verbal, written, listening. And so to me, what this feels like is you're being welcomed to walk towards using your voice. You know, and so to me, this feels like he's pulling this sword out, right? That maybe for a long time, like you've just been quiet. You've just sat here and you've been quiet and you took whatever people wanted to dish out at you, and you didn't say anything and it defeated you, and you're being welcome to speak up for yourself. You're being moved towards that, right? He's riding this horse, and like this horse is just going where it's going. You know, he's I mean, granted, he can pull back and stop, but he's not. We can see that he's not pulling back, you know, on those reins. He's just kind of hanging on. And so you're being welcomed to move in a direction that supports you using your voice. And I know for a lot of people that you know, weren't brought up in an environment or don't work in an environment where boundaries are recognized or appreciated or respected. There's no respect for boundaries here with this. Look at this nonsense. For those of us who have to learn boundaries on our own, or have to learn boundaries in reaction to being fed up with this, it can feel really scary to use your voice. And so what I will encourage you to do is remember that you don't have to speak what you need all the time. You can write it. That if somebody does something that is hurtful or disrespectful, or that you don't want to deal with anymore, you can write it down instead of speaking it. You can also journal or write down the things that you want to say to someone before you say them. Like, I know for me, when I was learning to use my voice, especially like in relationships, family relationships, I wouldn't be able to use my voice until my boundaries were extremely violated. And so if you're someone that struggles with anger is a response to a boundary violation, you know, and sometimes we can get little angry and sometimes we can get big angry. And so because it was very challenging for me to learn boundaries, a lot of times I wouldn't speak until I was big angry. And so it was just like very emotional and reactive and like shaky and, you know, it wasn't productive, it wasn't effective. I'm someone that, like, I tend to learn the hard way, and I learn through extremes. I think as I've gotten older and I've learned myself more, it's gotten a little bit easier. But even now, still, if there's something really difficult that I have to say to someone, I will write it out. And if it's something that's really, really difficult to say, I will write it out, I will take it with me, and I will read it to them. Instead of just trying to remember it, because the way that you use your voice is about you. It's not about other people. So if you're worried what they're gonna think if you send an email instead of talking to them in person, is that what works best for you? Who cares what they think? People think all kinds of nonsense. I'm sure this guy thinks that this is acceptable, right? So as you are learning to use your voice, as you are learning to implement those boundaries, there will be, you know, that stuff that comes up around, like, is this okay? Am I allowed to do this? This is right, this is wrong. What is best for you? What is best for you, right? So as you're learning to use your voice, what do you need? What do you need? Maybe you need to not interact with someone, and that's okay. You're allowed to give yourself a break. I'm giving you permission to take a break from this nonsense if that's what you need. I'm giving you permission to make the choice to not use your voice sometimes, right? That yes, like, you're being welcome to use your voice, but the power of being able to use your voice is also to make the choice to not communicate, right? That you don't have to respond to every text. You don't have to respond to every direct message. You know, I feel like this, for me, this week kind of taught me that, like, I don't have to respond right away. You know, Saturn, for me, Saturn is in Pisces. Well, for all of us, Saturn is in Pisces, but my third house is ruled by Pisces in my natal chart. And so, you know, Saturn being those structures, like, what I'm learning is that sometimes when I'm having a hard time, I don't respond to people unless it's an emergency, which is very rare. Like, I'm lucky that I have very, like, low-key people in my life, you know, and that, like, when things are hard, I can decide how I want to use the energy that I have. So I can decide if I want to pour some of this liquid out of my cup to give to someone else, or if I just don't have enough right now and the cup's not moving. So you're being welcomed to move towards learning how to use your voice. And part of that learning includes speaking or not speaking, writing or not writing, communicating or not communicating, as well as thinking about like what is best for me. And the thing that came to my mind is, how does this serve me? Does this serve me? Does this situation serve me anymore? No. Maybe that's why I'm being invited to walk away from it. So I hope that that was really like helpful. I hope that it was encouraging for you. I wish I had like more space where I could like show you all of this stuff. I don't think I have room because there's so many cards. I'm just gonna pile everything in here. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope that this was helpful for you. I feel like you're you're being ushered into like this new era, which is really it's really positive. Like these two major arcana cards, like these are just really great cards that you're learning your power, and you're being carried into a better space by like this higher power, divine God source love, and that there's things you gotta leave behind, that you gotta leave this nonsense, you gotta leave it behind, and it might feel weird because it's not familiar, and that's okay. You just take your time, be kind with yourself, know that you are allowed to speak up, you're allowed to say when you don't like things. You're allowed to not communicate back with the people that you don't want to communicate with. I'm giving you permission to conserve your energy, to care for you. So I hope this reading was helpful. I hope that, that you manifest like all the magic, because you've been working hard. And that you'll allow the good things to come to you because they want to. And like this old shit, goodbye. Goodbye. So if you enjoyed this reading, please leave me a comment and let me know. If you would like to hit that like button, I would appreciate it, as well as to subscribe if you feel like I deserve that. But thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Desert Illuminations Tarot. This is an indie deck from a lady that I found on Instagram who lives in New Mexico. So it has a lot of fun alien references. Her name is Lindsay D. Williams. I think she has like a version 2 of this deck, or an updated version of it. If you like it, she also has an oracle deck. But yes. So, what new season are you moving into? Let's see. Ooh, whoops. Page of Cups. So, Page of Cups is about new love coming in. That's exciting. If you are someone that is not interested in love right now, this can be discovering a new level of self-love, as well as friendships. You might even be getting a new pet. Love, I feel like love is not just romantic love. Love is self-love. Love is non-romantic love. It's familial love. biological or a chosen family. It's, you know, platonic love. It's even like the way that we express love to the world. So new love, new love. So the next card that I'm going to pull for you guys is, what is this new year offering me? As in you. Okay. Whoa! This new year is offering you some big changes. So with this Tower card, we've got fire. There's chaos, right? There's people falling out of this building. The bell, the lightning, even the bottom part of the tower is a little bit crumbly. Yeah. Tower is, it's usually not anybody's favorite tarot card, but to me, this feels like you've been wanting this change to happen. Maybe not chaotic, right? Like, like we don't always want, you know, fire and falling out and craziness. But this is, to me, this feels like a welcome change. And so I pulled another card, which is the Six of Swords. And Six of Swords is, you can see all these little swords back here, and her walking away. And this is a very traditional depiction of it. In the traditional Six of Swords, it's a woman in a boat, and she's leaving. And so this is very much leaving energy, moving towards like this celestial body, like this kind of magical moon. Both of these are during the night, which is interesting. And so to me, like, this is a very private change that you're wanting to happen. It's big, but it's something that you've kept very close to the vest, as they say. So other people might not know about it. With the one person here, you might be walking away from a relationship. You might be walking away from a job and they don't have any idea. And so what this feels like to me, and no judgment, because what this feels like to me is like there's been a lot of unhappiness here, like a lot of unhappiness. It feels like I keep letting you know what needs to be changed, and I keep asking and nobody's listening. And you know what? I'm not going to ask anymore. I'm just going to leave in the night. I'm just going to go. Done asking for these changes to happen. And also these things that you're asking for, whatever this is not unreasonable. Like this is, these are things that you deserve. These are things that you've earned. And yes, I'm all for this. I'm all for it. Not that you don't need my permission, but if you would like the extra support, yes, go on. Carry light. Enjoy the journey in this badass convertible. Enjoy that full moon and enjoy the moving on, because this feels good to me. This feels good. This does not feel good. This feels stagnant. This feels the word that comes to mind is displeasing. I don't even know if that's an actual word, but like I'm very displeased with this situation, right? And so it's not even like that. There's not that emotional charge anymore. Like this has gone on for so long that it's like, I'm not even mad anymore. Bye. Boy, bye. I'm leaving. And also like, I'm not saying bye. It's kind of a mental bye, right? That this is very much like you're gonna miss me when I'm gone energy. Also you can miss me with all that bullshit. It's that energy too. So I like it. So I feel like this feels even more like that self-love, you know. And look at this guy, look at this little face. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel good about it. I love these cards. Yeah. The rainbow, all the chakras. Yeah, I love it. So you're coming into a new season of learning what love is, new love. And this new year is offering you the opportunity to leave some things behind that you are ready to leave behind with the Six of Swords. So what new direction is your life taking over the next 2.5 years? Let's see. Ooh, the Emperor. Okay, so we've got two major arcana cards here. Big ending, and really, I like the Emperor card. Like this is very much like boss energy. It's very grounded. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know my skills. I know what I'm offering. It's this big awareness of the self. It's not cocky, not boastful. It's also not naive, right? So like, this won't happen again. To me, this is very much dealing with people that that not only tried to, but did sell you short of what you deserve. And so that doesn't happen here. The Emperor knows exactly what they're worth and what they deserve. And when they're not offered that, the Emperor has no problem like letting people know that like, that's not my rate. But also the Emperor doesn't have any problem walking away from that situation if they know there's no point in telling people that they deserve more, right? Like, because I think when we come out of a situation like this, and especially learning this new self-love, like we can feel the people who are not able or willing to hear us. Like we know when not to waste our energy talking to those people. Because one, why? Two, that's not in my highest good. That's not a reflection of me loving myself. That's not a reflection of me supporting myself. I don't need to convince you of what I'm worth. I already know. I know exactly how much I'm worth. And it's obvious that you don't. So I'm gonna leave. What more do we need to say? So I'm going to move on to the next two questions. Let me move these cards out. Oops, let me move these cards out of the way. I am going to keep this one here as a little continuation of our story, because I think the last two readings, this guy was, a big part of this other part. So what do you need to walk away from? King of Cactus, which is the King of Coins, King of Pentacles. So what do you need to walk away from? The thing that came to mind, and I don't know if this is what this is, but my brain said sugar daddy. This can also be a boss or a job. Also, the belief that you can't be this. The belief that like somebody else or something else always has to be the one providing your worth. Not just an employer, but okay, validation of worth. You don't need someone to validate what you're worth, which is, really that Emperor energy. You're learning that over these next 2.5 years. And so it feels like these are going to bump up against each other, right? Because this is the Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto was in Capricorn for 15 years. Pluto's moving into Aquarius. It'll be there for 20 years. So the new direction that you're taking over the next 2.5 years is that you're learning exactly who you are, exactly what you're worth. And in doing that, you're going to see that you have to walk away from the people or the situations that make you feel like something else has to validate, excuse me, something else has to validate these this knowing, right? I'm not even going to say belief, like this knowing. Because the emperor stands alone, right? Like empress and emperor energy, like I think in a very traditional context, like it's like king and queen, right? Like they need each other, but they're autonomous, they're independent energies, you know. And so this emperor, there's nobody else on the card with him, you know, he's hanging out, he's got his gun, just calm, looking out at the world. There's not really any chaos going on. So the belief, the programming, the conditioning that you need someone in authority to validate the things that you want for yourself, the life you want to create for yourself, even the belief that you can't do it by yourself. You're being invited to walk away from that, you know. And that, I feel like that self-love is definitely going to help with this, you know. That self-love is why you left, you know, that situation. That self-love is what has gotten you to taking this new direction of really focusing on you, you know, learning, or not learning, knowing who you are. But that self-love is also going to help you move away from this belief system or this programming that like somebody else has to validate or acknowledge that it's okay for you to have what you know you deserve. I hope that makes sense. So this last card is, what am I being welcomed to walk toward? Let's see what comes up. Ooh, Knight of Swords. So this is very similar to what came up in the last reading. What you're being welcomed to walk towards is exuberantly learning a new way of communicating, learning a new way of using your voice. And so we've got, like, this girl is on an adventure. Look at her, look at this. Look at them, look at this pairing. And so to me, what this feels like is like creative writing. So I don't know if you've wanted to start writing. I don't know, even like art. I don't know if there's some kind of like a new project that it feels like they're, let me make sure everybody's in screen. Okay. It feels like, whoops, because of this, you didn't have the energy to invest in this new thing. But now that you are walking away, you're gonna get all this energy back. Clears up look at all this wide open space, right? Before, we had this whole conundrum is taking up all the space in this card. But I'm with you. I got you. I'm supporting you on this. You have cleared up all this space, right? All this, so it's like the world is your oyster, as they say, and this is a pearl of a moon. And because you've cleared out all this nonsense, this chaos, you've got this self-love coming in. You know, you've got this, you're developing this knowing of who you are, letting go of needing validation from other people. You're about to start this big new project, this big new adventure. This could even be like travel, right? It feels like you're being welcomed to do the things that you didn't have the time and energy to do before. Yeah. And look, oh gosh. And it's just, look at her face, right? She's like, fuck yeah, finally. Like, this is, it's not even like, I don't know what the word is for it. It's like joy plus relief. It's like, yes, finally. I got to put on my fancy pink hat and get my horse, and we are getting out of here. We're going on an adventure. That's how it feels. It feels exciting and a little weird, but we like weird. But yeah, you're being welcomed. You're being invited to go towards that dream, like that thing, that little passion project, that even if it's not a big project, like you're being invited, you're being welcomed to walk towards whatever brings you this, whatever feeling you associate, whatever feeling you associate with this expression, you're being welcomed to move towards that. And like, as you clear out this, you know, this new year is offering you all this open space to do this, to go towards this, to ride into the moonlight and chase whatever that thing is in your heart. Oh, I love this. Is good stuff. And you're packing some self-love along the way, right? This new season that you're moving into. This new season of self-love. Yeah. It's all the good stuff. Man, this is good. I'm so excited for you. No, I'm gonna say I'm so glad you are over that. Because we're speaking it like it's real time. I'm so glad you walked away. I'm so getting all excited, I'm so glad that you are not there anymore. We're going to speak it into real time. I'm so glad that you're out of that. I'm so glad that you moved on. So proud of you for leaving in the night in your convertible. You got a little protective hairstyle on. Maybe it's a baseball cap, whatever. Hey, do you? So I'm so glad that you left that behind. So that now you have more time and space to do what brings you joy and to love yourself, because you know what you're worth, and you know that you don't need validation from whoever this alien dude is, society, all the nonsense. But you know, we do bring in that money. But yes, you're being welcome to walk towards this. So this is, you know, over a very long period of time, all these amazing things are going to flow in. This, you know, I feel like this walking away, it is, you know, the new year's offering this opportunity for you as we come into Aries season. And I feel like the fire being really prominent, like I feel like because it's, you know, Aries it's a fire sign. We're in this fire season. It moves quick. If you are not out of this yet, I feel like you'll be out of it very quickly, leaving very quickly. So yeah, look at you, get it? So this is your reading for this whole time of like big changes as we have started the new astrological year, the direction that you're taking over the next 2.5 years, this trend as we have Pluto leave Capricorn and enter Aquarius, just really, really good things. So I'm very excited for you. And if you enjoyed this reading, please leave me a comment. Let me know if you want to share. Let me know what your passion project is. I want to know. I want to know the good stuff. Also, what do you love about you? Yeah, let me know that. Leave me a comment. If you enjoyed this video, if you would like to give it a like, I would appreciate that. If you would like to subscribe, I would also appreciate that. But I just want to say thank you for watching the reading. I'm very excited for you. I hope that, I hope that you can focus on whatever joy, happiness, contentment, excitement, knives in the air, safety first. Getting your fancy pink hat out. I just wish you all of the good things. Wish you all of the good things that are happening here. So thank you so much for watching, And I will see you next time. Bye.